So this is my 1965 Mustang that I've owned since around 1990. The Mustang model is special for me because mine was the first real electric guitar I ever bought. I'd played guitar and bass all through high school and was the bassist for a working band during my college years, and I knew how good and dependable my Fender bass was. When I started playing more electric guitar, I started looking around. We didn't have the luxury of online shopping back then, and my local brick and mortar options didn't have a lot of choices. I lived near Orange, Virginia at the time, and there was this video rental place that also had some interesting used gear, and that's where I found this 1965 Mustang. It wasn't beat up, but it had obviously been played a lot. The previous owner had stripped it and repainted it with what looks like orange house paint. The original bridge was gone, replaced by a tune-o-matic, but the pickups and most everything else were original, and it came with the original case. I played this guitar for years and still play it. I played it on a run of Lollapalooza shows back in 1994 when that festival was still sort of a traveling circus. It's been in studios with producers you might have heard of, like Kramer and Steve Albini. It's been on stage with me in venues like Maxwell's in Hoboken, the Bowery Ballroom in Manhattan, the 40 Watt Club in Atlanta, and the Black Cat in DC. Along the way, I've had some work done on it, and I've done some work on it myself. The bridge pickup was always a little thin sounding, and a luthier in Baltimore sent it to Fralin pickups to be rewound. That helped, but after another 10 years or so, I took it out and put in this high output Seymour Duncan that thickens and darkens the bridge sound in a way I like. Eventually, the frets wore out, and I had them replaced with stainless steel, and at the same time, I had the neck shimmed to get a better angle. I replaced the switches and the volume pot when they failed, and about 5 years ago, I replaced the tune-o-matic bridge with a mastery bridge, which was huge. At this point, you might be thinking, this isn't anything like the new Vintera III Mid-60s Mustang. All things aren't equal. My guitar came to me modified, and I've made changes over the last few decades based on what I want. But that's part of the beauty of Fender guitars. They're easy to modify. To be honest, until now, I hadn't really spent any quality time with an unmodified Mustang. So this is my take on an out-of-the-box Vintera III Mustang and how it stacks up alongside my 65 Mustang. The Vintera III guitars are made in Fender's Ensenada plant in Mexico, which has been refining its production since the early 1990s. I've played a lot of Mexican Fenders, and I think some have been among the finest examples you could find. Instead of picking a model and year and making a replica with specs that adhere very closely to that exact model, the Vintera III line guitars focus on an era and takes some defining specs and applies what I think of as a very Fender-y approach to mass production. Simple, modular, and consistent. The first thing is the fit and finish of the Vintera III. It looks like a guitar you might have picked off the rack in 1964 with a tight neck pocket, nice fretwork, and a real bone string nut. It's got a gloss finish, urethane for the neck, and polyester for the alder body. Mine is orange house paint over a poplar body. I love this Olympic white, and the color tracks with vintage examples that I've seen, and I also appreciate that these are not relicked. It's amazing how closely the body contours match. The headstocks are almost exact replicas down to the placement of the string tree. The Vintera III's neck measures about 85/100ths of an inch deep at the second fret, and the fretboard is period-correct round laminated rosewood. It's a very comfortable, easy-playing neck. Mine measures 93/100ths, noticeably beefier, and has a slab rosewood board. The Vintera III is meant to be a pre-CBS version, and mine is a post-CBS. As such, the Vintera III has aged clay dot fret markers and a plain neck plate, while mine has pearloid dots and an F logo neck plate, on which you can see engraved a former owner's name. Neither have anything to do with playability, but I kind of like the way these clay dots look. The tremolo bridge on the Vintera III works great. You can't get as much flat and sharp play with this type of tremolo as you can with the Strats, but it also stays in tune when you do double stops and harmony bends. It's great for getting some wobble. I think I prefer the cool, vintage-correct black knobs on the Vintera III. Mine came with knurled chrome knobs, caked with corrosion and whatever else rubs off from sweaty fingers over years of playing. But they work, and I wouldn't feel right swapping them out. Let's talk about the pickups. Fender calls the ones on the Vintera III Mid-60s single-coil Mustang. They don't tell us what magnets are in them, but I'm guessing some kind of Alnico. Their low vintage output gives them a nice clarity that pairs well with the warmth of the short scale and the rosewood fretboard. The neck pickups on mine and the Vintera 3 measure very close in output, both around 5.4 ohms. As I mentioned, I put a high output bridge pickup in mine that measures 12.8 ohms. The Vintera 3's bridge pickup has just a bit more output than its neck, and I can honestly say that if my Mustang's original bridge pickup sounded like this, I probably would have never switched it out. Finally, all I'll say about the three-way pickup switches is that the Vintera 3s are period correct and work just like on my 65 Mustang. They're off in the middle position and on in either direction. Pickups are in phase with both on in the same direction and out of phase when they're both on in opposite directions. That gives you either characteristic in-phase chirp or thin out-of-phase skronk with both pickups together. Trade my 65 for a Vintera 3? No. It holds too many memories, plus it's super dependable and gig-worthy enough that I chose it for my most recent live and studio gigs. If I was shopping for a brand new Mustang, would I consider the Vintera 3? Yes. It plays and sounds great. And if you buy one today, who knows? It might end up a collector's item, or an undervalued gem that some kid with not a lot of money who needs a guitar picks up for a song at a brick-and-mortar shop in some small town.